So yeah, I had, I don't know if you can even see them. They're healing up pretty well, actually. Oh, no, is it on this side? No. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I had that done, and so I know you guys know that my vitreous detached on this side last year, so I'm due to get that checked, and I think I'm gonna have to get some more lasers, which it sucks. Like so what they do is when your vitreous detached, it tore my retina. And so they had to use a laser to zap my retina to try and build up scar tissue around the tear so it doesn't tear further. And it's not comfortable. Let me tell you, it really, it hurts like, getting a cut. It's a different kind of pain. And I am just so not stoked about that, especially because it's on the same night that I was hoping to go see an Oingo Boingo tribute band. Well, it's the same day. It's not, obviously I'm not going to the doctor at night, but it's the same day that I'm hoping to go see an Oingo Boingo tribute band, which, that's my favorite band of all time. And yeah, I'll never see the whole band, but this is pretty cool. But I'm having my eyes dilated. So I'm like, oh, fuck, am I going to be able to drive and go see it? So we'll see. So I haven't bought a ticket yet, but tickets are cheap anyways. It's not a big deal. And I went to my regular doctor again for the continued follow-up on, my numerous health conditions. And I have this asshole doctor. It's part of being a woman. They don't take you seriously. You're just neurotic. You're not unwell. You're just neurotic. And he said, in addition to the dysautonomia and the, neurological disease and all that stuff, that he thinks I have fibromyalgia. It's like, that's your way of saying I'm neurotic. It's just another way of saying it. I always said, you know what? I shouldn't say this because I'm going to get canceled, so I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that thought to myself. So scratch that. But he is giving me something for pain, but it's not an opioid. It's not even tramadol. Like, it's such a joke. It is like, it's alcohol. Actually, I think it's mainly used for alcohol cessation, which is interesting, but this is a really low dose. But it's not controlled or anything. And he's just so resistant to giving me anything for pain because he's so worried about addiction and dependency. And it's like, well, guess what? This is pain management, and it's making me an alcoholic. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I'd rather be addicted to an opioid, frankly. Though I used to take them in the past and had no problem with addiction. This was, years ago because of, my downstairs. I have polycystic ovaries and possibly endometriosis and adenomyosis, and I've got a big, ingrown cyst on my uterus. Very, very painful. And my old GYN, before Trump was in office and fucked everything up, she used to give me Vicodin for it. And I would take it during my period, a couple times a month. 90 pills would last me a year, so that, I don't think I have as much of an issue with medicinal addiction as with alcohol addiction, which is all through both sides of my family, especially my parents, so that's fun. I'm trying to cut back, but, it's like when you use it for pain management, like just talking to you, and especially because I talk so much at my job, and that's my main complaint is pain with talking. That's why I gave up acting and singing. But if you can't get anybody to take you seriously, and I've been trying for 20 plus years. I had one doctor that took me seriously because he went to school with my aunt, who was also a doctor. She took me seriously, but you don't go to your family that's HIPAA malpractice. You get into a weird area, but he knew me. He knew my family. He knew me. I took care of his dog. He knew me, and he knew it wasn't neuroses. He knew there was something wrong with me. He always said it was MS, and he was going to send me to Johns Hopkins. But don't even get me started on what a nightmare that was to try and organize. I finally gave up. I don't have the spoons for it. I don't have the spoons, and you can't get help. So I ended up not going, and I needed a spinal tap to check for the plaques and things like that, and insurance wouldn't pay for it. And then I didn't have insurance for a long time, and he retired. And every doctor I've been to every specialist known to man. They don't care. They don't care. They don't. And they just think you're a drug seeker or crazy. And I went, of my own volition, I went to a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, not there. I went to a psychiatrist for a whole battery of tests. Said, let's make sure this isn't up here. It's not. It's not. I've got the letters from the psychiatrist to say so. It's not. And I've seen it on my dad's side of the family in particular. It's all through, and we all go through the same thing, trying to get a diagnosis, but they all have MS. I have an aunt who died of MS complications. I have 7 first cousins with MS. And that's very obviously what it is. So, but if you can't get anybody to take you seriously, I mean, if you can't even get referrals, if you can't even get tests done, because you're just neurotic. So, I continue to, I've pretty much given up with this at this point of trying to even get anywhere. I just don't even try anymore. So I went to the doctor and he says you have fibromyalgia, and, we tried, because of the weight gain, which, I've talked about, which, the antidepressants help me in some ways, but in some ways it's a hindrance to my mental health because I have so many hang-ups around body image stuff because of trauma, that the weight gain in and of itself is a trigger for mental health problems. So it's like trying to find that equilibrium. And I am now the heaviest I have ever been in my life, which, rationally I know I'm fine, but irrationally and traumatically I'm like freaking the fuck out. And my doctor is just basically like, look, you're on the high end of healthy, but you're healthy. You're not obese. You're not overweight. You're close, but you're not there, and just tough. We haven't been managing your mental health. You haven't been managing your mental health. We haven't. We now have it. We tried to decrease. Actually, I tried to come off the antidepressants, flipped a switch, and quit my job. So obviously that didn't work. So we tried just scaling them back because, they start you on 1 dose and then go up and then they go up and they go up. So I had been like up 4 doses. So we tried easing back down all the way to the beginning, and the bad thoughts started coming in about self-harming. So I was like, okay, well that's not a go. That is a non-starter. So we had to up it again, but it's like, I have just, in the past 2 years that I've been on these, my weight's just slowly, and it drives me fuck nuts. But I'm also, trying to make peace with it because I am 40 something now. I'm not, 20s, 30s, not that I was ever a thin 20s, 30s. I was always a, history of eating disorder 20s, 30s. But I'm not a zookeeper anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm on antidepressants, and I work in the wine industry. So it's like, it's a combination of factors. I know it's mostly the antidepressant. I'm talking about this too much. So anyway, he basically said, tough shit, deal with it. This is just the way your body wants to be now that you're healthier, which, yeah, but I don't like it. So I can see it in my face as I'm talking to you. Like, I can see, I hate it so much, But whatever, I'm also a grown-ass woman. I'm not a kid. I'm not a little girl. I have the body of a woman, and it is what it is. And I know I talk about it every video, but it's something that's on my mind a lot. There's a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way, especially women that grew up in the 80s and 90s and what we used to call heroin chic. I never looked like that. I never, ever. Even when I was a kid, a teenager, early 20s, I was never thin. Whereas the whole rest of my mother's side of the family are all super thin and beautiful and cheekbones and taller than, I'm also the shortest too. And like, I'm watching my sister's girls grow 14 and 19, no, Violet will be 14 next month, but 14 and 19 basically. Violet's now taller than me, and both of them, they're just all arms and legs. They're just long and lean and beautiful. Violet's got this like reddish blonde hair, and they're both so gorgeous and smart and talented and athletic. And I'm just like, man, I was never me. And my mom will be like, that's exactly like how I was. And I'm like, of course it was, Mom. Of course. Those moms. Ooh, I looked like her when I did that facial expression just now, which is funny because most of the time I think I look like my dad. But anyway, so that's all been fun stuff. I bought my twice a year I get I have one wine club I'm a member of, and I got my shipment the other day. God, you guys, I need to give it up. I need to give up this wine club because they are not cheap, but holy shit. I took a bottle, actually we had a staff meeting at work, and I took a bottle of it because we make one wine that is not from our estate, and we get grapes from this really incredible vineyard called Nisido. And this place where I'm a wine club member, they also make the same varietal from the same vineyard, Nisido. And I was like, oh my God. So I brought it in because I didn't know they did that. So I bought a bottle and I brought it to the staff meeting so we could all, kind of do a side by side and see. It's incredible how different they are. Same vineyard. One of them's even the same block. We get ours from 2 blocks. They get it from 1. So we use the same block, and night and day. Like, they could not be more different. So that was just really neat to see. But my God, so expensive. Good thing it's only twice a year. And I said I was going to cancel when I went in for my pickup. It's like my 4th or 5th one. And I have so much wine. I've got to get a wine fridge, but they're expensive, so I haven't. But I really need to. Anyway, God, you guys. So I got that, and I got a sparkling. I hate Chardonnay. Like, I'm using the capital H, hate Chardonnay. But they do a sparkling that is 80% Chard, 80-20. 80% Chard, 20 Pinot Noir. I've never had anything taste like I could drink the whole bottle. I won't, but I could. It's so amazing, you guys. I wish I could share it with some of you. I had some of the Trekkies out after and during Vegas. A couple of you came, and I was like, they were not wine drinkers. And I'm like, but I have all of this. Too bad Connie helped me go through a lot of it, so we had a good time. Oh, I think Samuel's telling me it's time to hang up because I'm talking too much. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.